Oh, look at me.
Need lessons.
You were playing a song on it earlier.
Was I? Just messing around.
Oh, look how delicate you are. Give me that. Gotta smash that. Oh. There we go. Marvelous. Anyway, it's time for more Counter-Strike. We have match number 2 between Astralis and Fnatic coming up. Train was a blowout, and the next map I've completely forgotten, but I have it written down, and also have Mohan here. It is indeed Inferno. So, I will say what can we expect from Inferno, but let's not go through the obvious. We expect a competitive game. We expect Fnatic to win more than just a few rounds. You were talking about the statistics on Train.
Oh yeah, Fnatic have won 80% of their Train matches. They've also won the last, I mean, they've won 5 out of the last 7 times they played Astralis too. And they also won like the last 2 tournaments in a row that they played.
So sometimes you have those. I mean, for Fnatic, it's an anomaly to get beasted like that. That's not the fashion in which they normally lose. So I think they can put it behind them and focus on Inferno. What do you expect from Inferno?
It's a classically good Fnatic map as well, so it's something that they can find comfort on. It's also a map that's a bit more forgiving if you get a bad start on either side. I think, generally speaking, I think they're very good at, if they get a bad start on CT, they're very good at playing that initially sort of passive approach and then taking the right risks and so on. I think generally speaking, like, Fnatic will be fine here. I think it'll be a pretty close game. I don't think we'll see the same thing. Like, they're really good on this map.
See, I agree with all that, but I would have said the exact same thing about Train. So that makes me worried too.
Anomaly. I'm not worried. Yeah, I have no concerns. That is just one contained problem that's just been put in a cupboard, and they've closed a little door and they've turned a little key. That's fine. It's just over there. It's over there, and we're over here now. Everything's going to be fine. There is going to be, I hear that rumblings of a larger drop during this match, and I checked the shop, and you could get a nice pair of gloves with it. I think the Bloodhound gloves. You'd have enough points for the Bloodhound gloves, or an AWP Lightning Strike, or a Ryzen CPU. Those fancy Ryzens, eh?
Not bad, not bad.
Almost Ryzen, but Ryzen.
Is that to say that a Ryzen CPU costs as much as an AWP Lightning Strike?
Which Ryzen is it? I mean, they're pretty cheap, so
I don't know much about Ryzens, but like it's a Ryzen. It's a Ryzen CPU.
Okay, so the 1800X, what
it's cheaper. It's cheaper than buying one, for sure. If you win those points, them points. So again, make sure your accounts are connected. For those of you who aren't familiar or unsure as to how you do it, in your FACEIT settings, there's an area called integrations, and there you can connect to your YouTube, and then you can all be connected together. One big family where you might win yourself a big booty drop. Brazilian butt lift drop, as Days would say.
He's
not here today, but he'll be back. Don't worry.
He likes maximum augmentation.
He's a Deus Ex type of guy.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with the fake ass.
But it depends. Like apparently, right? Some people inject it with cement or something. I don't know if that's true.
Cement.
Yeah.
What are you saying?
I think a girl. I think a girl died because she put like cement in her bum. I mean, Google it. Just Google cement bum, and it'll probably come up.
I would like to be able to
me.
choose.
I'm in all parts of the internet.
Darwin Awards. There you go.
Yeah. Well, let's not forget the Desert Eagle and Book incident recently, where poor girl went to jail.
Oh, man.
Just didn't know better.
Flusher
taken down around the log position in the pistol round. Astralis starting on the CT side. Astralis been looking pretty hot in their matches so far here in Europe. They will have Device moving towards the library position now. He's not there to read books though. Crim's taken down towards the short position. The rest of Fnatic towards A. They've already got through top mid, and Astralis are playing from the site. Don't often see somebody playing the library so much in current gen Inferno. More fancy being next to the mini pits. Smoke on the arch position, and Fnatic are running out of personnel. They still don't have a kill. This is Golden and Lekro. There goes the bomb. Lekro, good on these pistol rounds. Good with a deagle, but not good enough for a 1 versus 5.
It's over, James.
For now, it's over, yes.
It's all coming to a close.
Okay, so Astralis win the CT pistol. That's a very, very big deal. But they have the force spike coming up now to deal with it as well.
Oh, nice. Just ran into it.
Yeah, that's a nice one. So, I mean, Astralis, they should be fine here. One would imagine you'd never want to count out Fnatic or the force spikes in CSGO, but if they are fine and have a good economy you know, this could get quite scary for Fnatic. I'm really curious to see how Astralis will play Inferno with the good economy on CT side, but getting ahead of myself because Fnatic are starting to move through the apartments. Oh no! Oh, that's fantastic, isn't it? That's spot on.
So normally on other maps, there's mid control in this map, but mid control here doesn't really help your rotations. With a fast A, no pick control, it's all going to come down to magic on the site.
It's working out pretty well. I mean, I suppose it was by design here for Astralis, not allowing anyone to be isolated in the pit position should a rush come in, but if there, I mean, did they have any arch presence? I mean, if there was a wrap, they would have been very screwed with no one in the pit. So.
Yeah, I think any kind of split. You want to have, because you can double up pit. You know, you can have all your players in pit. If they come A, pit is so nice. It's big. There's lots of angles to work with. It's hard to molly out completely. I think the scary part when you're facing the eco on CT side is the fact that you can't really cheat rotations. Because although there's a mid here, your B players can't use it in any way to get closer to A. They have to take B control by themselves. So map control is very important, but also scary when you know they're saving.
Do you remember which team it was that were bouncing the HE grenade into the pit, the mid pit?
Yes, it was MSL.
MSL. Okay, I need to look that up. I must study this.
Well, the AWP comes down to device straight away, and so far I don't think Fnatic have gotten more than like 1 kill, I think. 2 kills, okay. So, the economy of Astralis definitely in a good place, and Device needs to be cautious here. He's got company. Does he have much in the way of assistance? Not anymore. Zipex goes down straight away, denied by Flush's Mac 10 play. Very nicely done, and JW pushes through the smoke here. Fnatic deciding to go quite aggressive, making plays all over the place, and Flusher, oh sorry, rather JW will be able to make a mad dash there, opening up the A site for a tag. 2 players here for Astralis. It's going to be very hard to defend though. They need very good engagement. It's not quite going their way. Glaive now needs to do it all with the AK, but he can't, leaving it down to Device.
Riddled with bullets was Glaive.
Why are the gloves coming off for both teams right now? Why is it such bare bones Counter-Strike? Very aggressive spawn-based play from, I mean, Fnatic, you expect it, and you're seeing it this game. You could see why maybe they'd be upset about last map, but they just want to be themselves again. But even from Astralis, it's just so loose. What's going on?
UFC style. Always remember those Method Man lyrics. UFC fighting championships. G.I. Joe with the Kung Fu grip. Although UFC fighting championships is UFC FC. However, you can allow it for rap. You can allow it for rap. Ultimate fighting championships. Flusher bursting through the smoke there. JW, even though he didn't get the kill from earlier on when he was in that position, it did force the CTs into, well, they were already in defensive positions, but it compromised a lot of space, essentially. His presence, at the very least. 1 round on the board for Fnatic as Device goes for a pick all the way down mid, perhaps confident there will be no sniper rifle in response. You wonder if eventually you'll see a Krieg for rounds like that where they're not expecting an AWP and they go for the dirty peek. Time will tell. 3 players now for Fnatic as Flusher and JW have been picked off around the map. Golden Noah has taken possession of top banana, looking for a Coffin's peek, but Glaive is using good timing. Doesn't peek straight away, and now he's got the info. Safer than it would have been if he was picking the angle the entire time. Something to note at home. Device crouching, otherwise Lecro would have shot him straight in the head. And that's a 5 versus 2 now. Fnatic have options taken away. And at the minute mark, they look to push the B bomb site. Smokes it down, but Crib will try to force his way through. Not going to work though, because Glaive is there, and so is Zipex. A clean round from Astralis.
Aggressive again. Just so aggressive. Just, I mean, how do you describe that, Launders? Just... Device goes for the pick from quad side at the same time his teammates are, pressing into banana, committing for a kill, and they win both frags. And then Fnatic are sort of forced to respond in aggression as well.
Yeah, there's zero inhibitions from both sides, actually. I mean, even in, you know, up 5v3, it's a re-aggression at mid.
Oh,
wow!
my God.
That's sick.
We just got a real match.
I mean, it is, it's totally fun to watch. It's just, I'm wondering what the thought process is. There's definitely no, it seems like for Fnatic, they go aggressive, they lose their kill, they still go aggressive. Nobody seems to be communicating that they should be like thinking about what to do next. Instead, they're all just taking it upon themselves to make some individual play, and it's totally fine.
Okay, I'll come back to it in a second because Crims is keeping this competitive. Another Deagle shot through the boiler position towards the balcony. Very tight angle. Now Flush will get cut down, leaving Crims alone in a 1 versus 3. Dupree is in the arch position, and he's pretty tagged, but the flashbang will catch Crims straight in the face. Can't turn in time. Crims on the pallet, Dupree on the pallet won't save him. Now Crims has a rifle, making his way towards the B bomb site. Glaive is in CT, Crims is watching Speedway. I'm not sure if Glaive has heard Crims. I'm not sure if he'll be holding angle in time, but yes, he will check it, and Crims is taken out. In a way, in a technology world, people say companies like Uber are disruptive because they just kind of ruin everything that exists and change the whole status quo. And I feel like in some way...
It's just a better product.
Yeah, but in some way I think these two teams are trying to be disruptive in a fashion that they don't want to allow their opponents to operate as normal and execute their normal game plan. That might be what's going on here.
So you're saying that Astralis, Uber, and Fnatic just like black cab drivers?
Well, I think they're both trying to be Uber.
So,
but there can only be one.
I think Lyft is doing pretty well.
What's that Chinese one? There's a Chinese one as well. But I'll come back to that. Been reading a lot about that recently. Not that I need to get a taxi in China anytime soon. 5-1 for Astralis. 4-4 with a minute 20 on the clock. All the Fnatic players towards top mid. And it will not be contested. Astralis have one player in the pit, one player on the side, and Device making his way towards Speedway. Through Speedway, rather.
So Fnatic ready to bound into the A-bomb site, and so far so good. Dupree though, very nicely done, gets the 2 kills he sort of had to get. And there's been plenty of time here as things slowed down dramatically, so we can see that Device has made his way quickly to the apartment's position. So he has some time to play with kits as well, and there is a very fast shot into Lekro. Now creating a 1v2 for JW, retreating to the pit position, as he is quite wary of the B player coming from the arch side behind the smoke. Now spotted out, so is JW though, and with Device lurking around the apps, this could be quite scary. Nice shots there from JW, spots the second player now, trying to go for it as the flashbang comes in. The spray not quite landing, it was so close.
I think he shot him in the head through the tip of the wall.
Yeah.
He shot Device. So unlucky for JW.
But I mean, Device put him in that position because he threw the flash, which made him very uncomfortable. So he kind of earned the advantage.
Such an important round to win for Fnatic, and they just can't quite get it so close. And now they're back into a half-buy Deagle armor, or sorry, CZ armor mostly. Smoking a flashbang, so might see something fast here. Lots of players up second mid, maybe fast in the top mid. Indeed, here they go.
Short has been smoked off, and the T's with 4 CZs and 1 Deagle rotate around towards the arch position. Got to be careful of Pit. Nobody on the site this time, but one player shot, one player Pit. Dupree forced away. His teammates been left in isolation, being chased by players with the bomb, and they will be successful just for that kill at least. But now they're stuck in the pit, these 2 Fnatic players, versus the 4 players of Astralis, who are all on the A site. 3 on arch and Dupree on short. Arch is half, Pit is half smoked off, and those 2 kills will come in pretty damn quickly. 7-1 for Astralis. No bomb plant for Fnatic.
So, it's looking like Train at the moment. Not a fun time for Fnatic. They've created some good opportunities though, but again, that sort of goes back to the point that you were making earlier, Lorne, is that there's not a huge amount of thought going into some of the rounds, so it does seem a little bit inconsistent. And also, once they sort of have made the first commitment, it sort of feels like they have to follow through, and it either works or it doesn't from that point. Like, there's no greater plan in store for them, and Dupree very brave there. Perhaps a bit too brave.
Flutter needs to be careful. Sometimes this position gets double naded. Up on the logs is Zipex. Chopping the wood. 4 and 4 now with Fnatic. Making inroads towards top mid. The Device will not shy away from the peak. Misses a play towards Boiler, but he'll be picked up by Magisk Boy. That's Crims in the Boiler position. Device taken down elsewhere by Lekro from the balcony even, but Magisk Boy will trade that one. And spots the players towards from his balcony position towards Arch. He has a teammate in Library as well. That's what might be trying to bait for him, but it's kind of awkward for Glaive. And now JW's holding the angle, tags him through the corner of the wall. 2 versus 2, everybody's being lit up.
And Magisk did a really good job in the amount of damage that he was able to do, but JW, the AWP will shut down Zipex, and Glaive no longer likes the look of this, perhaps, despite his opponents being very low on health. It's not something that he can know. And he will turn tail and run, but it's another round where, okay, Fnatic do win this one, but only 2 players are surviving. So there is a really big reset potential here for Astralis.
Will they even survive?
In fact, that's a very good point. They may.
3 players have a combined 16 HP. They're not making. Golden's dead. That's a wrap. He's gone.
Oh boy.
Oh, that's really devastating. Losing an extra player there. The money on Astralis' side is not too amazing though. Dupree really stayed out there for a very long time. He really committed for that frag, that 1-for-1.
Yeah, Magic, as he mentioned though, he played that spot really well.
Yeah, he did.
He's been great, just Pit in general, A-side player. He's been basically an anchor, sometimes alone, and doing tons of damage.
Tactical timeout from Astralis, of which there are 8 seconds remaining. You know, I always fantasize about being the guy who
You don't
talks
fantasize.
At a tennis game at Wimbledon. I wanted to just go on a microphone and say, new balls. That's my dream. I want to say new balls at Wimbledon.
I feel like they'd let you one day.
I deserve this.
We'll make this happen.
I'll send an email to Sue Barker. You probably don't know who Sue Barker is, but Dan does.
I don't.
You don't know who Sue... Oh, never mind. 5 rounds between these two... I think you just said that. 5 rounds between these 2 teams. Fnatic, all of 2 rounds on the board, but perhaps there is still room for recovery. 1 CT behind the sandbags. JW is the only person around top banana for the time being, so all good for him to push too far, and that would be why. Zipex standing on the sandbags to get the kill. Not often you see somebody on top of the sandbags from that position, so maybe that will come into more common use as this map progresses and develops. 3-2 set up from Astralis, fairly traditional for the time being. Device towards Arch, spots 1. There are 2 more to catch. There goes Golden as well. And not much is working for Fnatic. Device making it look easy on Arch, picking up his 3rd in Crims, leaving Flutter alone, who will dispose of his AWP so things don't get worse. The issues don't get compounded in the rounds to come.
I don't know if they just generally lacked a huge amount of grenades this round, but I think, you know, JW's play up banana was a bit crazy. I don't think he had any flashes, so he was just sort of dry peeking with the AWP, really close range, in a sort of... And you have to first clear a spot, which is like really unfavorable for him, before you can get to any additional angles. So that sort of felt a little bit half-assed, to be honest. And obviously then he dies, and I feel like that then commits his team into actually trying to get action and trying to get an advantage back at top mid, and this happened.
Yeah, I mean, you can hold W the entire time, but you can also still have like a couple of protocols from your other teammates to help you, just simple supporting flashes, high flash over the wall from spawn, so even if they have a bad spawn that they can still throw it for you. They have that molly for Arch, so that Device can't re-peek that they could have used. There's like a lot of simple things we can do for map control that would help them a lot.
Hammer Drill is out on banana, and that is a very brief round. Pistols for Fnatic don't get very far. Zipex taken down, but that's about it. Astralis building money, whereas Fnatic are poor. Almost a clean $2,000 per person for the Swedes in this round. That looks more bronze than it does golden. Boom.
McGivern.
So McGivern.
Oh no, Vigan.
Mavigan has won 250,000 FACEIT points. Congratulations to you, Sarah Madam.
Congratulations.
Get them gloves, or get that Ryzen, or that AWP Lightning Strike, or whatever else you want. Maybe.
How much is the PC?
That is such an underrated.
Is that 1K?
The processor,
At 1
yeah.
million even.
But it's more than that.
1 million, I suppose. Probably.
It might be. Around the million mark.
1.5.
250,000 FACEIT points.
1.5 million. Okay, it's 1.5 million.
Boom. Well, somebody won one of those at the finals and claimed that instantly.
As you should have.
I want to win a PC. 10-2, Astralis. I mean, they're making pretty handy work of Fnatic at present. Will it continue though? Fnatic, I think, will love to have. Ooh, look at this bait setup. This is train-esque. Ironically, we've seen some old school Fnatic setups in the apartments, but that's a new one for me. That's not what he wanted, Jim.
That was hitbox porn right there. How on earth that did deflect back at him?
Oh man, that's so cool. Well, it didn't cost him at least, I suppose. Which is good. Fnatic pretty committed to going into A here. They have no vision on Banana. They have no idea what's going on there. JW's also cleared a spot towards the A site, but the entire team is in the vicinity, so it's still going to be tough. Device is going to peek and will miss the flick shot. There's a pop flash over the top. Let's see if that's going to do much here as his teammates will start to flank. Zipex will close in from behind, and that will be good for 2 kills. And now it will take something rather incredible for Golden to save this one, but he does have the info that both players were towards A, so he's going to make the mad dash across, but I do believe that he will get caught on the cross. Is that Device with the orb? Okay, there's the smoke. Golden will jump across. Did he get tanked there?
Seemed like it.
So they actually managed to get a bomb plant here. Maybe he can actually do something from this position. Just need the 1 taps. He's going with the flash. He's brave! And that's going to pay off for the first kill. That's really important. Now he's denied Astralis from having a situation where they can play off of each other. And the 1v1s will go Golden's way. What a beautiful save. Quite the clutch there. 4 kills in total. And a very unlikely round for Fnatic.
Crim's bought it a give.
Nice. Oh no, it's still in beta. That's a bad miss.
I can't believe this worked. I'll be honest.
That was monstrous from Golden. Really nice stuff. A 4K from him, and the Negev has been disposed of in this round. Ironically, I would argue that the Negev is probably better now than it is going to be in the beta update because you move so slowly when you fire it. But if there's more time after this match, maybe we can have a brief discussion about that. Device going for some more aggressive peaks, but not quite finding anything. But the harassment is there. The control, the dominance. Back to the arch position once again, delivering kill after kill. Was short, now he's long. Massive nuisance is Device, and that's the kind of best kind of sniper you want on CT of Inferno, just everywhere. Could be B, could be short, could be long. 5 versus 2 as Fnatic just running into the Gatling guns. Like Tom Cruise and co in The Last Samurai. Everybody's getting shot to pieces.
Well, so far in 2 games, Fnatic have made 4 rounds. Is that correct? Okay, so
Quick maths.
Quick maths, yeah. Quick maths. We've got the AWP onto Device, and Dupree's gonna let loose a bit. Just charging down mid against the pistols. Does not care. They're gonna trade out.
Nice.
Great AWPing there from Device. Really nice reactionary stuff as he takes the final frag.
Jesus.
12-3. Astralis, they continue as they started on train.
When you are feeling it, you are really feeling it. It's so satisfying to AWP like this. The flow of consciousness is just insane. It's glorious. It's flowing through your body. You are one with the AWP.
Yeah, that really is the peak of confidence in Counter-Strike. When you know that a flick will hit, you know with 100% confidence that you will hit your flick. Did you see that simple 4K on Cobble the other day?
No.
It was maybe the most confident I've ever seen. It's someone re-peeking and flicking and hitting 1Ds.
As well, I need to check that.
We'll watch it after.
Getting into the zone.
He might have been on FPL.
He's always in FPL.
So.
It's true.
Be it FPL.
It's probably an FPL moment right there.
Or a major.
Or a major.
It's always FPL.
He's always FPL, yeah.
He's literally said to me before about a match that he was full FPL mode. Which is why I said that, because of a discussion I had with him where he's like, yeah, I was full FPL mode for that match.
Oh.
Yeah. He's that good, you can just, you know, people like Simple, people like Oscar.
So when is it man-like and not people-like? Man-like Rops, people like Simple?
Yeah, really is only man like Rops, but I do pull it up occasionally.
Okay.
Here and there, but mostly man like Rops. 2 kills for JW, top mid. And Astralis playing a really slow pistol round here, but it's not working for him. They showed early presence towards the banana position in rotated way. Magisploit is back there trying to find an opening. He may have heard the rotation towards Speedway. Deep in the corner, top banana, you can hear people running on Speedway, as you could on the old map.
This is crazy. So he cut off all the rotations here. Magis doesn't know exactly how many people are at A, but he realizes at least probably 1 has gone. So now they've only got entry 1 at B. It basically comes down to this kill, 2v2 after plant. Yeah, they could actually win.
Wow, what a ton of events. Really cool the way that they actually have managed to create an opportunity here to save this situation, which looks incredibly dire. 2v4 in a pistol with people just walking around, but now it's a 2v2 after plant, favoring the Astralis players. Waiting for info. Minimal sound cues from the opponents so far as Fnatic now need to get a move on. They have a kill onto Crims. Initial frag taken by Zipex. The trade comes out though. The info's there for Magisk. The kit's there for Lecro. He's going to sit on the bomb and he's going to be able to make the frag happen. Does he have time here? Ooh, just barely has enough time for the defuse. Really good attempt from Astralis to save the round, and they do get the bomb plant, but denied ultimately by Fnatic.
That's got to be really frustrating for Magisk, boy. He should feel like that was his round all day. But not this time. What did they up to do, Astralis, with the bomb plant? Zipex has picked up Mach 10. And, but no Kevlar. So he's keeping his money with his teammates. They have average to 2200.
Oh.
So he's not going to go crazy with it. Oh, that's not what he wanted. And now he's isolated from... Okay, he's got 1 teammate there, so if he dies, it can be collected. And he's just going to give it up. Didn't even fire a bullet. And he's like, okay, you can have it now. Actually, I think he fired 3 bullets, so he did get some mileage out of it.
Maybe they're just sort of hoping that as well, you know, there's some players with no helmets on this round or something, but I don't know, that doesn't really make too much sense.
Yeah, this would be like the worst round to not have a helmet.
Yeah. It just doesn't make much sense.
I think it's just because you can try to burst out of balcony or boiler and get those close quarters, get some numbers out there. You might have 1 or 2 teammates die, but then you have a window where maybe you get a kill, and then you have a rifle and a Mach 10.
I guess maybe if they've been watching Vegas Squadron demos, they'll be able to make this look like an AK.
I mean, if you look like he almost actually just killed JW or Crims coming out of boiler. So, for only $1,000,
yeah, man.
Potentially have 5 chances to spray someone down.
Well, I mean, you get more than half your money back if you kill 1 person as well. So
that's true. Very true.
Reasonable odds, all things considered. But now it's time for the serious business. The AKs are out for Astralis. No sniper for either side just yet. Golden and Flush on the UMPs for the time being. Machine pistol, if I'm not mistaken. The UMP 45, the literal upgrade to the MP5. Although all the let's put the MP5 in a game whiners have gone, but the UMP is
it'll never be the MP5.
MP5. So you can let go.
No, you can't.
It's been upgraded.
I mean, the MP7 feels like the MP5 anyways.
Close. Yeah.
Pretty close. I like the MP7 a lot, actually.
It's a laser.
Yeah, it's really good. It feels really good. Okay, just taking some peeks, taking the map control, running a default here are Astralis, getting the map control for the as much map control as they can. Banana They don't have top mid though just yet. Fnatic have that. So Fnatic have lots of info. Ooh, lots of noise spotted towards Banana here, and Fnatic going for the defense here. Flusher goes for the pop flash through the smoke to try to understand what's going on. Golden goes for the peek here, but Astralis doing a really good job at isolating these defenders. Flusher somehow getting a headshot through the smoke, will eventually be eliminated. And Astralis have just walked into the B-bomb site. They've just walked in.
2 players remain for Fnatic. Still moving towards the B-bomb site, but with that smoke down towards the site, I don't feel like they're going to get the openings they're looking for. Specs has another smoke if they want to deploy it, but they may focus with those AKs. Oh, okay. Well, 2 fast kills for Fnatic, and now they will re-smoke that position. Fnatic on the site, they've both got kits. Lecro taken out by Zepex, and Crims will fall as well to the hands of Device. So the round does go the way of Astralis after all.
I feel like that's maybe even a good example of how pacing can mismatch and put you at a disadvantage. For example, Fnatic had top mid at this so they had like a lot of information on the map, but they just didn't really use the information yet because perhaps they didn't expect Astralis to play quite so quickly, because it's rare that you'll have a team just decide to just walk in. That said, they should have known that Astralis should have played faster because they had low utility in the round. So I think the info was there for Fnatic to realize to have rotations in play, but into the next round they go aggressive with a max 7.
It was kind of weird. I think they lost too many people in the previous round, so their buy last round actually put them in debt here. So they can barely afford to buy right now. Forced to do something aggressive. That's kind of unfortunate because Glaive comes right after the flash. I don't even think he waited to hear it. So they potentially could have got blind there. But they put themselves in a tricky situation now because they didn't have enough money to risk losing that last round. It wasn't really a bonus round, even though they didn't have all the utility they wanted.
5-on-3 in favour of Astralis. Lecro gets taken down through the smoke towards the arch position, and that is a wipeout towards the A site. The remainder of Fnatic rotating from B, but 2 versus 4 at this juncture. What can they really hope for? Golden isn't going to commit to this, so Crims may be looking for an upgrade or I don't know what, but well, Golden's moving towards the A site now. But what can they really expect from this? Again, maybe if they get some unlikely picks. Well, I think now at this point it's perhaps exit frags. Maybe Crims makes a play towards the pits. He has no grenade though, so may just be looking to catch somebody off guard as they look to exit the site. Hiding in plain sight perhaps. Risky business.
It is like a really tough situation, isn't it? Because, as you say, like if you have no utility on the CT side, you're like against a lesser team, lesser than Astralis. You know, you can definitely win those rounds, but otherwise, it's like so exploitable from Astralis' perspective, having full utility, full weaponry. So you almost do want them to save, but there's so many rounds behind.
Yeah, that's the other thing, because now we're looking at 4 buys in a row, basically, if they keep losing. None of which have been full buys.
Yeah, yeah.
The other tricky part is you want to wall out the attackers, but you also need to find that 5v4 so you can feel comfortable in your rotations. It's like we talked about Inferno, like the fastest rotate is, 8 to 10 seconds from Arch to B. And that's an incredibly long time that you can't cheat because there's no mid. Like there's no can't jump out mid to Cat and be 4-second rotate to B on Mirage. You can't just go vents to B and be a 2-second rotate on Cash. There's nothing like that on Inferno. So instead you got to get your kill or you got to get all the way down Banana.
It's a tough life, although this can happen every so often. Just CZ in the right time, in the right place, in the right hands. It's going to do a lot of damage, and there's not too much Astralis can do to fight back here. So Fnatic have been sort of gifted, well not gifted, I don't want to say gifted, but okay, what
you
word
said
can
gifted,
I use?
Dan, that's what you said.
What word can I use, James? It's not gifted.
Awarded.
But they've been fortunate, they've been fortuitous. A round in which they had a disadvantage worked out, and they've been given a chance back in.
Well, let me see if I can do that on this. Not really, needed just one more key. They can get that song going. Was it Lighthouse Family? I think it was. Lighthouse Family, don't drop the T's. We're not in Brick Lane. 1 man down per side. CZ's out for Astralis in this round. They've run out of money. Fnatic with an opportunity to play catch up. Crims underneath the balcony position behind the wall. Now he has the bomb at his feet. And that is a glorious round for Fnatic, one of few.
I do wonder if we won't just see something like really basic again from Astralis, where they do what they did in the previous round, where they do a default without taking top mid, and they just hit B, you know, something simple like that. That's sort of been generally what we've been seeing from them, just simpler stuff, just done a bit more explosively. On train we saw it all the time as well. And we do have the initial attempts towards the banana area, but you can see that Fnatic are actually trying to hold on to this for the time being. Ooh, device. Oh, you never want to be in this spot. Oh, he's actually going to stand in the smoke. He will survive.
Risky business.
Yeah.
That is a great smoke, especially if you're expecting like a force buy rush and you time it so it pops just before they get there. It almost encourages them to go through it, but then now it's a significant disadvantage. If you have a second player just on the corner of that yellow wall, so he's avoiding the flashbangs and then pops out afterwards, then you can smash. Sometimes you might get smashed if the timing is off, but more often than not, it works out quite well.
So this is a spot where you kind of want Fnatic to start floating a player towards B, because Astralis has shown this a bunch of times, and like when they don't have top mid presence at all, and you can see that that's starting to happen now. JW finally floating towards B, and they would just hit B. You can see that they're lining up some grenades, but they're going back towards mid here, so this might be a fake. They might try to, they feel as though they've pulled the rotation now. Zipex sort of showing presence as the lurker. Will they... Actually, they're just going to go for the B play anyway. So into 3 players, Fnatic have a good chance here.
Counter flash from the CTs is good, but it won't save Flusher. He gets popped by Glaive. 1 for 1. JW missing a shot, standing in the flames as well, and he will fall to those flames. That leaves Golden on the side with 20 HP. They know he's there, and with 15 seconds, he must stay alive, but he doesn't. 2 versus 3. Crims at the front, the smoke is gone. Nice tap onto Glaive, but he can't stop the bomb from going down. Does he know one player is in the pool? Not sure, but he knows one's on the site. There's Device taken down. Now it's Dupree. Perhaps position unknown, but what can he do? He might have a shadow advantage here that he's trying to play with. There's the first one. Knows the second one's there as well. The shadow advantage might continue, but it's very slight. But Dupree will get the kill regardless. 15 rounds for Astralis.
That's kind of a sad round for Fnatic to lose, because they really did everything right, as you were talking about. I mean, all the way through. They had the proper stack, they had the information at mid. They made a small guess because they didn't see anybody, but because they didn't see anybody at top mid, hey, let's make that extra rotation to B. Last time they hit B, it worked versus 2 players. The hold wasn't great, but the rotates were fast enough that it made it a little bit easier, and then they still get 1v2'd.
Yeah, despite Crims' amazing work as well. So, the back 10s are out of force. Oh my god, that's disgusting.
Dude. You can't do anything about that.
No.
I didn't even know he was coming, and I have X-ray.
Sometimes the universe just says no.
Life comes at you fast.
Okay, well, Astralis in a really cool position right now. They can do pretty much whatever they want. As long as they just go together, they can just leverage the numbers advantage. And if they have the right grenades to work off of, it's really a big gamble for Fnatic. Fnatic are in a really weird spot. Sometimes you may want to just hold 3 players onto one site in this position, but because if they lose the round, the game's over, they're in a spot where that doesn't really make as much sense. So this is just so many levels of awkward and awful for Fnatic right now.
So many levels of awkward. It's like Dan in a lift. That was good. Come on. 5 versus 3. Fnatic in trouble. Flusher holding down the B bomb site for the time being, but it's going to be a Crims is holding down. Oh, almost a 3rd kill for him, but now it's Flusher alone, rotating from the B bomb site. 1 versus 2. If there's anyone that can do it, it's Flusher. 1 kill already, needs 3. If he used to keep his team in this, sees the Molotov flying through. Takes out Zipex before he can get into position in the pit, but where is Glaive? Flush down to 10 HP. He has no defuse kit. And Glaive is in the balcony position, and that's going to be that. 16-7. Astralis Smash Flusher and Co on both maps.
I think when we look at the second half, we saw Fnatic, I want to say like trying a little bit more. In the first half, it seemed like they weren't going through things that wouldn't have cost them almost any effort, but would have helped them a lot. You know, the sloppy B takes, the top mid, you know, getting opt by Device who re-peeked 3 times on the same angle but got all the kills, like right here. Some of the stuff was kind of like, it just shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
And that just made it a lot, alleviated a lot of pressure in the second half. And when it came down to the 13th, 14th rounds, Fnatic were making bad buying decisions. So when they finally got their feet on the ground, it all just fell apart.
Yeah, definitely a lot to be decided for Fnatic, but perhaps they're just taking it a little bit easy. We did see some flashes of individual brilliance from time to time, but Astralis definitely very on point, and it's nice to see. It's cool to see Astralis with a fresh breath of life in them. So
It's true.
See the stats here. Nothing really. Anything to talk about?
No, nothing standing out. It's all fairly average, which is good, which means everyone's delivering on the team, at least for Astralis. A tough 2 matches for Fnatic, but again, as Dan and Mohan mentioned, it was pretty awesome to see Astralis firing off so well, especially after they had that difficulty and the kind of bumpy road with swapping the roles with the sniper and so on. They seem to be doing pretty well for the time being, so we will see if that continues. Well, we've got some more Counter-Strike coming for you soon. That's going to be probably in about 30 minutes though, because those were 2 very quick matches indeed. We're going to have NIP versus Godsent. Train and Cobblestone will be the 2 maps. What we'll see from the likes of Dennis, what will we see from the likes of Hampus? Time will tell, about 30 minutes time. So we'll see you back here for that at the top of the hour.